Hello there. This is your friendly neighborhood banker here with a review of Conan the Barbarian 2099 issue number 1. And I gotta say, I was skeptical as to whether this was gonna be good. I think they pulled it off. I was pretty impressed. I've been a big Conan fan for a really long time. My dad introduced me to the books by Robert E. Howard as a youngster and loved those shorter stories. And to me, it's one of the greatest action adventure stuff you could ever read. And so while I can be a little bit hard to please when it comes to some Conan things because I just know the character so well, so it's kind of glaring when he's done improperly. You don't need to be complicated to do a great Conan story. It's pretty simple stuff. And this took, I think they did a great job with taking some interesting elements, it complicated the surroundings, while staying very true, almost in a way, to the simplicity of the Conan character himself. So let me jump into the dollar bookmark here. Looks like Jerry Dugan, Roge Antonio, am I saying that right? Roge, something like the artist, and the colorist Eric Arciniega, maybe that's right, we'll see. Hopefully I'll get a clarification on that, but team did well. And this looks like it could have been might just be a one-shot, but hopefully it's not. Let me jump into a $5 piece here. Now, right away, we get into what Marvel does better than DC, or actually Marvel does at all versus DC, which is a quick recap, giving us some context. If you're sort of new or you haven't been reading for the last few years, a quick recap, to say, Conan wandered far from the frigid Sumerian mountains long, long ago, and yet he still found himself crossing swords with wizards and warlords from the moment he arrived in this modern age. And then we jump over here to years into his rule. This is the story of how a life spent wandering can take unexpected twists and turns, climbing to great heights and then breaking glass, and how the gift of a long life can sometimes be a curse. So, not a whole lot, but I mean, if you haven't read Conan, didn't know Conan was just thrown into the modern-day Marvel Universe recently in comics, this shows you, hey, here he is. You see him with some people you might be familiar with, and here he is in 2099, and I like that Marvel does that stuff. And then, it's not like a huge thing, but it's one page dedicated to, hey, this is where we're going to catch you up. This is kind of like, when you have TV shows, when they say, hey, in last week's episode, and then you get into it, so that some people jumping in the middle of something or didn't know the context to a certain story can just start getting into the action. And DC sucks at this. If they do it, they don't do it well. And for my money, they don't do it at all, for the most part. Drives me crazy. And maybe that's why I'm a Marvel guy and not a DC guy, because I wasn't born in 1938. And I need some recapping in here in December 2019. So basically the premise of this is this sorceress curses Conan with a long life in the modern age, and here he is in 2099 with his own kingdom still around. So it's cool because you have Conan just with his life extended essentially as a cool reason for why he's in the 2099 era. So what I'm going to do is jump to our $10 page here and kind of kick off some of the meat of this review. First of all, I like a lot of the design choices. The art wasn't amazing, but I really enjoyed it. This design choice of giving Conan this necklace, and I know I don't know too much about this 2099 world, except that I know it's ruled by Doctor Doom. And if you look here, you can see Conan is wearing these like Doctor Doom fingers around his necklace, each with different colors. So in terms of a design choice, you know, you can tell that looks like Conan's body, and it's got some modern stuff, but it's not like, you know, he's not like in huge tech or mech armor. So I like that they kind of kept him simple, but gave him some, you know, almost like tribal, you know, stuff going on with what he's wearing around his neck, showing, yeah, this is a barbarian, but, you know, these are like Dr. Doom's fingers, which is, hey, that's interesting. That's the technological piece of this. So I like the art a lot in this. And basically, he's trying to get rid of this curse, and they go through certain things in this book where they kind of allude to the fact that the world is heating up. So it's interesting that they kind of address global warming from a 2099 perspective. I thought that was pretty cool. And let me jump over to the $50 page here. This was really nice because the juxtaposition of Conan using technology is cool. So here he is in a Nova helmet looking through these binoculars. So it's like if you're ever going to catch Conan not doing something, it's going to be with this helmet from a spaceman looking through these 2099 binoculars. And I just like that. It was a great page. There's some really cool things that happened here. And I don't want to give too much of the story away, but the writing was good. And something I thought that was really cool, which is one of the reasons why I highlighted this as my $50 page. Conan walked for days in the city, past work tribes that tried to recruit him, and cults that tried to slay him. He managed to avoid the public eye until now. See, that's who Conan is. This is 2099, and the tribes want to recruit his muscle, and the cults want to kill him, and certain things just don't change. From way back 10,000 years ago in the Hyborian Age to 2099 in the United States, some things just stay the same with Conan, and I like how they played that. It was really, really cool and refreshing. On my $20 page, this is cool. Conan has this sword, and he fights these wolves. So you have a lot of the Conan elements in this book, where, you know, you got this nice action, you got some really serious stuff going on, and I really like this story. It was really cool. My $100 page is actually, it's actually 2 pages, and I'm going to show you why. Do I draw Conan with an axe? Do I draw him with a sword? And the artists that do him properly in a book, give him both. Don't choose. So Conan crashes through the glass. This guy's talking about killing Conan. He just hacks this guy in the head with this axe. I say, death to the king, ah. And then Conan, we turn the page and Conan says, come and try. And yeah, what a cool shot. Just tears this guy apart with his battle axe. You know, clearly is in his royal position there. And then he bends down, grabs this laser sword, and just goes into action. So that's my $100 marker in this book, because you give Conan a battle axe and then grabs the laser sword, I'm into it. You got my money. You got my $4.99 for this book. So at the end they say they don't show a preview, and because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. So I wonder if they're going to say the end. Like, are we going to get enough purchases from this book to justify a second one? And we're waiting for feedback. So this is my feedback. Please, please, please do more. Do more. And if you write it, I will buy it. And this is my review from your friendly neighborhood banker. Thank you.